Greetings. Welcome to day 35. Today's lesson is called My Home Community, Making Memories. For today's assignment, this is the final day of Teacher Appreciation Week. Consider writing a letter, card, or email to your teacher or teachers, past and present, to let them know how much you appreciate them. If you would like to, you can fill out an optional Google form and express your appreciation. So, have fun with your family today and make some new memories. Play some of your favorite games and or try out some of these new ones. This was definitely a new one for me. It's called Pico Fermi Bagels. The directions say the game begins with one person secretly choosing a 3-digit number with no repeated digits. The other players try to guess the number, and the player who chose the number responds as follows. For each digit, when the guess is correct, but in the wrong place, respond Pico. So wrong place, what we're talking about here is place value. So you may remember this. Thank you, math teachers. I remember place value. So we have the ones, tens, and hundreds with our 3 digits. For each digit, when the guess is correct and in the correct place, respond Fermi. If the guess has no numbers correct, they respond bagels. When all 3 digits are correct and in the correct place, you win. So I tried this game out, played it here at home. I guess the hardest thing for me to learn was the meanings of Pico, Fermi, and bagels. So I'm going to help you out and give you some associations to help you do that. You can look up on the internet some good examples that show you how to play. For me, though, once I figured out what the meaning was, playing and doing was the best way to learn the game. So feel free to focus and try to work on this example, or just go ahead and play it. It's fun. Here, let me give you some associations to help you remember Pico Fermi bagels. So Pico, for each digit, when the guess is correct but in the wrong place, respond Pico. First thing that comes to my mind, since I'm a science teacher, is the Pico Meter. It's equal to 1/1,000,000th of a meter. Thanks to my English teachers, I know that Pico is what we call a prefix. In science class this year, in 9th grade, we used a number of these metric prefixes. We used kilo through milli in class, but here's the others, and you can see Pico down there is 10 to the negative 12th power. In class, we used the mnemonic tool, King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, to remember those. You may remember doing that in class. So the picometer is the unit we use to measure atomic radii. Thanks to my math teachers, I know what a radius is. Thanks to my science teacher, who sometimes is a moron because he goes on and on about science things, I can remember what an atom is. Hey, here's some work we did in class this year. In 9th grade science, we looked at the trends that we can see with atomic versus the atomic number. Here's another one. Thanks to my foreign language teacher, Spanish teachers, I know what this is. This is pico de gallo. Thanks to my Spanish teacher, I know this doesn't just mean the beak of a rooster. It's this wonderful dish that vegetables. That rooster changing back at. So remember, Pico, for each digit, when the guess is correct but in the wrong place, respond Pico. Fermi, for each digit, when the guess is correct and in the correct place, respond Fermi. Fermi is named after Enrico Fermi. He was an Italian-born American scientist who was one of the chief architects of the nuclear age. Fission, we learned about that in science and did much more work. He's really an important scientist. He was so important that he had an element. Element number 100, fermium, was named after him. In math class, sometimes you might do on Fermi problems. Those are ones that we can make calculations, but we'll never quite get an exact answer. A lot of times these are fun. So for example, how long would it take to count to 1,000,000? Or how many coronaviruses are injected into the air when an infected person sneezes? Well, this is a good example of a contemporary Fermi problem. How about the Fermi paradox? This is contradiction that we have lack of evidence for extraterrestrial civilizations. They're likely to exist. I don't know. Look up the Drake equation if you'd like to learn more about this stuff. It's a good seed of thought to think about. Inspires lots of science fiction. So Fermi is for each digit when the guess is correct and in the correct place. Respond Fermi. Bagels. If the guess has no number correct, they respond bagels. Bagel looks like a 0. If no numbers are correct, they respond bagels. Here's another game you could play called counter examples. So the directions are, the leader makes a false statement that can be proven false with a counter example. The group tries to think of a counter example that proves it false. The leader can then revise their statement, and the group tries to provide another counter example. The best statements usually have form, all blanks are blanks, or no blanks are blank. You can also play around with it. If it has blank, then it can blank. So here's some good examples for you. All birds can fly. Another example would be penguins. Hey, I can think of another. How about an ostrich? How about emu? These are all examples of birds that cannot fly. So that's a counter example. No books have pictures in them. If something produces light, then it is a light bulb. If something has stripes, then it is a zebra. Everything that has legs is an animal. See Math for Love for more examples. You can click on that link if you have the slides. Take a break today. There is no Google form or final entry product for today. Yay! Have a wonderful weekend.